Because I'm an idiot and love burning money, I've gone ahead and changed the exhaust on Project Civic Si once again. Though, as the comment section will no doubt say, this time I've done good. I've done right. I paid out the money and went full race. And here's a bit what it sounds like. Yeah, this is going to be a fun episode. You're probably asking yourself, Jake, you messed with your exhaust again. Why? You spent all that time and money trying to make the Go Power system streetable or quiet enough to drive to and from the track. And yes, I did, but didn't you hear the first part? It's because I'm a moron and I couldn't leave well enough alone. And the top comments in these exhaust videos I've been making for this car have been just saying, Jake, just buy the full race exhaust. It is the best compromise exhaust for the 8th Gen Civic platform. And so I said, great, let me waste even more money and buy one of those and see how it goes. And so that's exactly what I did. The full race exhaust is absolutely gorgeous in its construction. It uses slip joints and a V-band and some really nice hardware. The fit and finish is fantastic. Installation is an absolute breeze. It's a really gorgeous system when you unpackage it. But all I care about is efficacy. That's what I'm after here. I'm after an exhaust that's not gonna piss off my neighbors when I wake up at 4 in the morning to go do a track day, because all the tracks are 3 hours away when you live in LA. But at the same time, I want maximum power out of this platform. And the K20 loves a 3-inch exhaust, so that's really my only option there as far as peak power is concerned. That's satisfying. Woo! So is that. But crucially, this thing is relatively tame on a cold start, which is what I was after. And mercifully, the full race exhaust has made this thing tolerable, even with the Skunk2 header. This thing is still, it's not nearly as quiet as stock, obviously, but it is absolutely tolerable on a cold start. And when you're just bumping around town, it's still buzzy, it's still a K-series of 3-inch exhaust and a header, you can't get around it, but it is much, much quieter in the low revs. Though I will say an interesting thing is that this is slightly louder when cruising on the freeway than my modified Go Power exhaust. For whatever reason, cruising at 70-75 miles an hour, after I cut out the first resonator and put in that vibrant muffler, the Go Power setup was slightly quieter on the freeway. Though this is still very tolerable. It's a little bit drony, but the overall volume is lower. And so you can just deal with it when you're driving to and from the track. I'd posit this is almost an everyday setup now, which is frankly amazing because a buzzy little naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with an opened up uncorked exhaust really shouldn't be this tolerable every day. However, my seat of the pants driving impressions can only show you so much. I want to give you some actual data, some science behind the difference in tonality in the full race setup versus my modified Go Power and perhaps other exhaust systems on the market. So, to give you a better perspective, I'm going to hand it over to Jake in the editing bay. Wow, past Jake, thanks for the introduction. Anywho, here in the editing bay now, looking at video clips I filmed of the Civic with both the Go Power exhaust as well as the full race exhaust. And I want to come up here and show you the difference in tonality. So what I did is I put a camera at a fixed location and filmed the car and doing different things. Doing free revs and doing flybys. And this setup with the camera and mic in a fixed location shows the exact difference in tonality between these two exhausts. So check this out. This is a free rev with the full race exhaust. Now what you'll see right here is that at idle, it's about the same, but in the lower revs, there's a lot less volume right here in this part of the clip. Instead, when you get here, right as the car gets right near the red line, the sound levels even out. So at red line, these two exhausts are making the same amount of volume, the same peak decibels more or less. However, at the lower revs, the modified Go Power exhaust, even with the new muffler, was still substantially louder. Look at these flyby clips, and you'll see the same thing. The first clip with a car driving away is a clip in the distance. You know, the mic in the camera is 50 plus feet away from the car, and you can see just the difference in the sound level in these two clips. This clip is much fuller, showing a much larger amount of decibels in a larger area, because again, even in the lower revs, there was so much buzziness in that Go Power exhaust that it's going to fill up this area even more. But when you look at this flyby clip here, again, in the lower revs, as the car is approaching the camera, the audio is fuller on the video editor, which means it's recording more decibels, which makes sense because the modified Go Power exhaust is louder in the lower revs. However, as the car passes the camera just short of the red line, maybe 8,000 RPM, the peak decibel is actually the exact same between these two setups. So disregarding the tonality of the two, whether you prefer the buzziness of the Go Power exhaust or the more mellow tone of the full race, it is super impressive that with the full race exhaust, when you are at lower revs, even being a full 3-inch setup, it is surprisingly mellow overall in terms of volume and decibels. And on the flip side, when you're really revving the car out, driving it hard, right near the red line, it produces the same peak volume as these louder exhausts, sort of in theory giving credence to the fact that you do get the best of both worlds with this setup. And that's part of the reason why it is so expensive, because Full Race has sort of figured out the magic cocktail of exhaust tuning that makes the 8th Gen Civic kind of work in a nice, pleasurable way. Now, this is the car mic'd up two ways, with a microphone right over the exhaust on the outside of the car and a microphone inside the car. Both layers of audio untouched, just synced up perfectly. So you can sort of hear inside and out how the Full Race sounds. Alright guys, that's all I got this episode of Project Civic Si. As always, my name is Jake. Thank you very much for watching Drive, Break, Fix, Repeat, and I'll see you guys next time where I go do more fun things with cars. Bye.